Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's class, we are going to look at some of the important multiple choice questions with respect to Indian economic environment, which is the economics general paper for FYBA. In this class, we are looking at some of the important MCQs from chapter 2, semester 2. So let's get started. The first question is, the banks in which majority stakeholder is not the government are called as what? The majority stakeholder is not the government are called as what? Whether it is A, private sector banks, B, public sector banks, C, foreign banks, or D, cooperative banks. So here the majority stakeholder is not the government. When it is the government, you call such banks to be public sector banks. Here the majority stakeholder is not the government, hence it is nothing but private sector banks. So here option A, private sector banks, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is, the banks which were not nationalized during 1969 and 1980s phase of nationalization are known as dash. The banks which were not nationalized during 1969 or 1980s are called as A, old generation private sector bank, B, new generation private sector bank, C, foreign banks, or D, regional rural banks. So here all those banks which were left out from the 1969 as well as 1980s nationalization are called as the old generation private sector banks, and therefore option A, old generation private sector banks, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The banks which came into existence or operation after the 1991 new economic policy reforms are popularly called as what? All those banks which came into existence after 1991 are popularly called as A, old generation private sector banks, B, new generation private sector banks, C, public sector banks, or D, commercial banks. So here we know old generation private sector banks because they were all those banks which were not nationalized during 69 and 80s phase of nationalization. Here the correct answer is new generation private sector banks are all those banks which came into existence after the new economic policy reforms of 1991, and hence option B, new generation private sector banks, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one, the long form or full form sort of a question. The long form or full form of RRB is dash, whether it is A, regional royal bank, whether it is B, regional rural bank, whether it is C, regional reserve bank, or D, regional ration bank. So here very easy sort of question. The long form of RRB is nothing but regional rural banks. So here option B, RRB, regional rural banks, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one, which is talking about the ownership of regional rural banks, and the question is, RRBs are owned by dash. Who owns regional rural banks? Whether it is A, central government, B, state government, C, sponsor bank, or D, all of the above. So here the correct answer is regional rural banks are jointly owned by central government, state governments, and sponsor banks. These sponsor banks are usually the commercial banks, to be very precise. So here option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us move to the next one, which is talking about who is the largest shareholder of a regional rural bank. We know that it is jointly owned by central government, state governments, and sponsor banks. So who is the majority stakeholder or largest stakeholder in regional rural banks? The question is, who is the largest stakeholder of regional rural banks? Whether it is A, central government, B, state government, C, sponsor bank, or D, RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India. So here the correct answer is central government is the largest stakeholder of regional rural banks. The percentage is set like this. So here the central government holds 50%, the state government only has 15%, and the rest 35% goes to the sponsor bank. So the largest stakeholder, this question was asking about largest, so the largest is A, central government. The next question is in relation to who's the smallest one. Now we know the percentage of each stakeholders. So the next question is, who's the smallest stakeholder of regional rural bank? It is nothing but state government with 15%. Yeah, so largest is central government, then we have sponsor bank with 35%, and then we have state government with 15%, and 50% is with the central government. I hope these three questions are pretty much clear. Who owns the regional rural banks? It is jointly owned by state, central, and sponsor banks. State government, central government, and sponsor banks, and then largest is the central government with 50% stakes, lowest is the state government with 15% stakes, and the remaining 35 is with the sponsor banks. Usually these banks are commercial banks, the sponsor banks I mean. I hope the questions are clear. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is regional rural banks were established under the provisions of Dash Act. Which act? Whether it is A, Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934, whether it is B, SBI or State Bank of India Act of 1955, whether it is C, Regional Rural Banks Act of 1976, or none of the above. So here it is very easy and straightforward question. The regional rural banks were established under the provisions of Regional Rural Bank Act of 1976, and therefore option C is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is Dash Bank, with its head office in Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh, was the first regional rural bank in India. The first regional rural bank, whether it is A, Syndicate Bank, whether it is B, Prathama Bank, whether it is C, Bandhan Bank, or D, Kotak Bank. So Prathama Bank, option B, is the correct answer. That means Prathama Bank, with its head office in Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh, was the first regional rural bank in India, and therefore option B, Prathama Bank, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next one. Dash Bank sponsored the first regional rural bank, Prathama. Which bank amongst the following sponsored the regional rural bank, Prathama? Because we have seen there are three ownerships or jointly owned. Regional rural banks are jointly owned by central government, state government, and sponsor banks. So which bank was the sponsor for the first Prathama regional rural bank? So here it is A, Syndicate, B, Kotak, C, Paytm, and D, State Bank of India. The correct answer here is it was Syndicate Bank who sponsored the first regional rural bank known as Prathama, which had its head office in Moradabad, UP. Okay, so I hope this question is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The cooperative banks have been set up under Dash Act. Under which act the cooperative banks were set up? Whether it is A, Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934, whether it is B, various cooperative societies acts. Two of the acts were passed in 1904 and 1912. Then we have Banking Regulations Act of 1949, and none of the above. So here the correct answer is it has been set up under the various Cooperative Societies Act, but now there are certain amendments which were made under the Banking Regulations Act 1949, which now also incorporates certain sections wherein they can regulate cooperative banks. So Reserve Bank of India can regulate cooperative banks. So here they were set up under the Cooperative Societies Act of 1904 and 1912, but now even the Banking Regulations Act 1949 also has certain sections wherein the Reserve Bank of India has the power to regulate cooperative banks. Okay, so I hope this is pretty much clear. Okay, let us now move to the next one. The cooperative banks falls under the purview of Dash and Dash. The cooperative banks fall under the purview of A, state government and RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, B, central government and NABARD, C, state government and central government, and D, SEBI and NABARD. So here the correct answer is the cooperative banks fall under the purview of two important entities. First is the state government and the next is Reserve Bank of India. How state government? All these cooperative societies acts are passed by the state, and here RBI. Why? Because some of the sections of Banking Regulations Act of 1949 are there, which in a sense gives the Reserve Bank of India powers to regulate cooperative banks in India, and therefore option A, State Bank and Reserve Bank of India, the state government and the Reserve Bank of India is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope it is clear. Let us now move to the next one. The cooperative credit system consists of Dash. What all things are included in the cooperative credit system? Whether it is A, short-term agricultural credit institutions, whether it is B, long-term agricultural credit institutions, whether it is C, non-agricultural credit institutions, or D, all of the above. So here the cooperative credit system consists of all these three important institutions. That means non-agricultural credit institutions, short-term as well as long-term agricultural credit institutions, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next one. The cooperative banking structure comprehensively consists of Dash. The cooperative banking structure comprehensively consists of Dash, and the underlying options are A, state cooperative banks, B, central cooperative banks, C, primary credit societies, they can be agricultural credit societies and non-agricultural credit societies, and last is all of the above. So here again the cooperative banking structure comprehensively consists of all these three things. That means if you look at this pyramid, at the top you have the state cooperative banks, in the middle you have the central cooperative banks, and at last end you have primary credit societies. They can be agricultural and non-agricultural. Okay, agriculture and non-agricultural. So here option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this question. Comprehensively consists of all these three entities. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the last question in this segment. The cooperative banks are primary financiers of whom? Whether it is A, agricultural activities, whether it is B, small scale industries, whether it is C, self-employed workers, or D, all of the above. Cooperative banks are primary financiers of all of these three entities. That means agricultural activities, indirectly farmers, small scale industries, as well as self-employed workers, and therefore option D, all of the above, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the questions associated with banking environment in India with respect to this lecture are pretty much clear. Please stay tuned for more. Thank you.